Ah yes, the Porsche 911. Sleek, fast, and just a bit smug. But even the finest machines need a bit of help dealing with the sun. Enter Sean, installer, wizard of tint, and general menace to boring windows everywhere. Today, he's laying down Dragon's Ember, a Chameleon film so flashy it makes sunglasses jealous. Let's see what sort of magic he cooks up, shall we?
What's up guys, it's Sean from Window Tint Warriors, and today we're doing something a little special. We're doing the Window Tint Supplies Dragon's Ember Chameleon on this entire 2019 Porsche 911 Carrera 4S. He likes to bring it to car shows and stuff, so this is gonna be definitely an eyesore when we're done with it in the best way possible. We already had the vehicle prepped. We did a full removal on this, and then I started looking at the film on the car, and I'm like, we gotta make a video out of this because it's gonna look crazy. So I have the material laid out on the back and the front windshield, and then I'm gonna start cutting the material out, prepped already on the sides, back and front. I still have to scrape and scrub the windows to remove any extra glue. So let's get forward with the process. If you guys ever wanted to buy this material, windowtintsupplies.com. We also have a training coming up in a couple weeks. If you're ever interested in hands-on training, check out windowtintsupplies.com. We have all the dates on there. Right now I'm cutting on the 1/4-inch white vinyl tape. So that way I'm not cutting directly on the glass, not creating any score lines, I'm just riding on the tape. Keep it nice and tight. This bottom edge is tight with the carpet on the bottom. We're gonna use this for the quarter glass windows. This is the first time we're actually doing a full vehicle with one of our Chameleon colored films. If I had to choose any vehicle to do it on, it would definitely be this one. So I'm glad we're doing it today. So we're just gonna cut everything out, and then we'll get to shrinking and application. For the doors, cut that bottom edge first. Edge. And then we'll shift it forward one more again. Create a little gap. Trim our corners. This I left long because up here there's an exposed edge that protrudes. So we'll line that up, round out the bottoms so they don't peel. And then shrink and install. It's like a pair of Ray-Bans. We have the door panel protectors on there. Window Tint Supplies, get those. Super easy to use. They don't get in the way like some other ones do. Easy to store. They come with some Velcro. Wrap it up, Velcro it. Trying to carefully shrink this. I don't want to over shrink it in any areas because it can cause inconsistencies in the finish after you've installed it. A little pocket. Our spray squeegee spray, we've already scraped the window. I'll give it another check in the front edge just to make sure there's no glue in there or across the bottom. Just to be safe. Squeegee. Bottom edge, bring it down. Slide it forward, push on the glass to get it behind the gasket. Sometimes you gotta use an easy reach. Pop the gasket open. Let it flow in. Ooh, check that out while I squeegee it. cool thing about this film is it's only red on one side. The other side is black. And this is about a 30% film, 35, I think it's 30. No need to double layer, it's already dark. Take this out. Perfect. Cut the bottom, cut the front, shift it forward. Cut the back. Shift it forward. Good. The key is to get all these fingers on the top edge laid down before you cut, because every time you hit a finger, there's a chance of the blade skipping and it will continue to hop. We'll tack that down nice and hard. And give it a go. Cross your fingers. Perfect. Very nice. Bring all of our fingers down to the bottom, center. The pocket shrink on the bottom. Always mount it 1 inch at least from the top edge, overhanging the back with the frameless door windows, squeegee across the top, removing any of that debris, wiping your blade and wiping your top edge. Spray squeegee spray, wipe the blade, overlap. Bottom load that bad boy. Getting it into the front gasket is the most important, because if you go too far and it folds, then you get a crease and then it'll end up peeling. I'm gonna heat the top edge up before I squeegee this. It's moving around a lot. Sprayed a little bit more water on this one. This is a secret I have, a little tip. Squeegee the water off the top edge, heat up the outside of the top edge, get it warm so that way when you make the first squeegee pass, it's stuck in place and won't move around on you. Ooh. Always squeegeeing across the top before I go straight down. You want to stretch the film out before you go down. If you have a finger, you want to push that out before you push it out with the towel, because the towel has texture to it and it'll leave that texture in the glue or the press. Just like when you have a squeegee, you want it to be a clean squeegee blade without any nibs in it to get all the water out and lay it flat. Then we can go over and grab the water with the towel. So these door protectors are protecting the door panel from heat as well as the water. With the stitching on the Porsches, they tend to swell up if you get them too wet or even just a little wet. Move on to the quarter glass windows, and then we'll go back to the doors and just make sure there's no final touches that we have to do. Little fingers popping up on the bottom edges. Chameleon film is known for not having the strongest glue, so we just want to keep an eye out for stuff like that. The cool thing about it is if you ever do have to remove it, you can pretty much just rip it off without any glue transfer at all. If you got a tint shop and you're not using Tint Wiz, we got a problem. What's up, man? I'm just over here on Tint Wiz. I got all these leads. I'm about to make hella bread, bro. Stack. Stay organized, book appointments, manage leads, send invoices, collect payments, integrate with QuickBooks, automated messages for follow-ups on appointments and proposals, and review requests. Some softwares charge like $500 a month for what Tint Wiz does. If you need help setting it up, I got you. We about to be rolling that shit. Get yourself Tint Wiz. Take this off, we'll do our spray squeegee spray to install quick, wiping the panel immediately. Wipe our panel now so the stitching doesn't get wet. Wipe the glue residue off from there. Apply a little bit of heat to it, speed up the process. Then we'll do the next one and we go on to shrinking. stubborn figure here. It's probably hitting like a piece of the glue for the window. It'll lay down after that heat transfers through. Let's shrink and install the back window then. We already got it cut out. Make sure my razor is tucked so we don't rub it on the wheel, the quarter panel. Start from the outside and work our way in. This video really isn't intended to be instructional, more so educational, but you can learn a lot from it still if you pay close attention to the little things I say and the things I do. See, at the end I'm creating a little pocket and then I'm shrinking that pocket so we don't burn the edges. Then we can get close to the edge once it's flat. Whew. I know when I get in that back window, I'm gonna be sweating. I can feel it already. All right, time to squeeze into the back of this bad boy. Scrub pad, towel to cover the carpet, side swiper. No bulldozer needed. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we got the towel here. I'm gonna use one to cover the center just in case. Super sensitive. I don't want anything on my pants to rub on it. And I'll get another one for the back. Am I gonna reverse roll this? It's been a while. I think I have to. It's very painful. Just checking for any residue from the previous tint. Make sure there's no glue. I scrub it really good and then I'll feel it with my hand. I don't see any reason to use an adhesive remover because it didn't leave any visible glue. Usually if you run your hand across the glass, you can feel like a little nib of glue if there is any. Give it one more pass with the towel. It's the waffle weave towel. Grabs any debris that's stuck to the window and rubs it off. Oh yeah, I'm sweating. Spray squeegee spray. But before I do that, I'm gonna set up my reverse roll and bring the tint in here. That way it's super fresh when we install it. So I'll squeegee the perimeter, make sure it's nice and clean while I drip and sweat. Halfway. Set it back down, just like we're doing a windshield. When I install this, I'm going to want to install it from my left to my right, so I'm going to roll it up from my right to the left. Grab the tint and the release liner together. Roll it up. Then we'll clean the dryer sheet off, get a nice clean view. See any glue on the bottom here? It's just condensation. If I don't have to use adhesive remover, especially on materials on a vehicle like this, try to stay away from it because you don't know what the adhesive remover could do to that surface. It's supposed to be damage-free or like risk-free, but it is adhesive remover and a lot of these panels are put together with adhesive with the fabric, so we have to be extra careful and only use it when we have to. So we'll take our reverse roll pattern, just lay it right here on the carpet on my blue towel. And we'll do my spray squeegee spray, yellow turbo. No one uses these anymore, but I do. Wipe the blade down the side, underhand. I'll give a nice little flush across the bottom. That way we don't disrupt it with any of the squeegees. It's the only time we're doing that because we don't want to do that more than once. We don't need excess water inside of the vehicle. Roll it up all the way, keep the release liner attached, and unroll only the tint. Get it into position. Get myself in the middle, start pushing it into the left side. That way when I unroll it, I can just put both of my hands under and work this into place. This tint is a lot heavier, so it is a little more difficult to handle. I'm gonna go down in my bottom left corner, get my whole left side slid in. That way I can start working my way to the right, removing the liner as I go. Very, very nice. Bottom right side down. light mist, and then we'll start squeegeeing with our orange crush. Center out. Center out. And then I always like to push out the top edge with the towel wrapped around a card. Ooh. It's ripping. No dirt, no contamination. Not an easy back window to maneuver into place, I'll tell you that. Because you got carpet on all sides. You could take that stuff off, but not necessary though. Now we do have a couple fingers, one on the side here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna heat up the perimeter, let it sit for a minute, let the heat pass through the glass, and I'll come back and I'll push that out. Get rid of this condensation. Whenever you're heating a window, if you're worried about this finger here, don't go like this and just heat the finger. You gotta heat up the whole glass. Avoid heat fractures. The heat takes time to pass through the glass, and you wanna evenly heat the entire window to reduce any chances of breaking the glass. So you can see this condensation is just kind of following me because the heat is slowly passing through the glass, evaporating the condensation on the inside, and then drying the tint out. That's how long it takes the heat to pass through the glass. Let's just push that out quick. Should be good. Always make sure you have a fresh blade when you're cutting on the white tape. Make sure you don't have to push too hard to actually cut through the film. Because if you have to push too hard, you're gonna go through the tint and the tape. And that defeats the purpose. All right, let's get this front windshield shrunk and installed. This material, you really want to shrink a larger portion than you normally would. Normally you would just heat this area, push it, heat it, push it, but this film needs to be shrunk evenly in a larger area, otherwise you'll get marks in the film. So I like to go over about a 6x6 area all the way to the edge when I'm about 6 inches from the edge, and then just push it all the way down. One way or another you can get it down, but the more you perfect your shrinking method, the less potential ghosting marks you'll have in the film. It's only with this Dragon's Ember one that's like that. Right here it's getting a little sticky. I had the steamer in there with the dryer sheet on the outside of the window already, so when dryer sheet gets a little bit too hot, it actually doesn't act as it should, or doesn't give you the full benefit for dry shrinking. So if you're gonna be steaming a window, if you're gonna be steaming a window that you're gonna be reapplying film back on, put the dryer sheet on after you steam the tint off the window. That way the dryer sheet doesn't get overheated and have negative effects on your shrinking. But I'm pushing through it. I haven't learned my lesson on that. Ooh. What do you think he's gonna say? And it's overcast, raining today? Ooh. He's like, what the f***, rip it all off. Got this tight finger, I wanna lift this up a little so we're not shrinking that really tight finger. Allow that shrink to happen across a larger area rather than a tight finger with nothing lifted up around it. You gotta have air. If there's no air, it won't shrink because it don't care. There we go. Woo. Oh, my back. I'm getting old. We did it, guys. Time to finish it. Just like we did with the back window. We're gonna roll it up from the passenger side to the driver's side because I want to start on the driver's side when I install. And I still have glue on the inside of this, so we gotta clean it up really nice with a fresh stainless steel single edge blade. Don't want to use blades close to the bottom of the dash. Let that sit on the floor. Obviously not with the pad on the floor, but just pad facing up. I'm gonna cover the dashboard. We got the tint rope in there already. The most important part is the stitches on this edge. Everything else we can wipe quick afterwards. This is where I had to scrape the stickers off, so all the tint left the glue. Did the majority of it with my OFA or my red dot. Any glue left behind will ruin the whole job, so be extra diligent. If you hear any faint click noises, that is glue, and you want to make sure you go back and get rid of that. Then I'll go with my scrubber with the adhesive remover on it. I'll apply the adhesive remover. I'll let it sit for a second while I wipe the top edge. Make sure there's nothing around the perimeter, and then scrub it off. They call me the Scraposaurus. Oh yeah. This. I'm not hiding anything from you guys, don't worry. I want to be able to see. Usually I just leave that there, but since you guys are viewing with the camera, I want to make sure you see everything. Whenever I'm done with the blade, if I don't want to get up and I'm too lazy to throw it in the garbage, I at least throw it on the floor next to a tool that I have. That way I know it's there and I know I have to pick it up. Last thing you want to do is put it on the customer's floor and accidentally leave it there. And then a kid to go in the car and touch it, and dang, that's it. You're done. You're not tinting anymore. Did I hurt something? Gotta be really careful on these cars because there's like sensor connections around the perimeter. If I think there's a piece of tint underneath there, visibly check before I go and stick a razor behind there, because if you cut off a sensor, you're buying a new piece of glass. Flush, light mist. Beautiful. What the hell? What the hell, Auntie? Sticky. Lightness. Would you look at that? Look at that. Something you're just gonna look at it. Feels a little humid, which for some reason causes tint to prematurely tack. Just gotta make sure you don't hit a dry spot and crease it, because then we'd have to shrink this all over again. Redo all of that. We don't want that. Another sensitive area is this airbag. Is a pre-made crease there, like a relief cut, so that when the airbag breaks, it breaks in that line. So if you get it wet, it'll become visible. Slow across the bottom. And do final press with the bulldozer. Across the bottom. Straight down to no man's land. Then we'll get it started. Run the AC, evaporate some of this condensation. And go over everything. Woohoo! Just push out the perimeter, make sure there's no water dripping down into the film, which there is. This is a little long here, so I know I have to trim that. It's hitting right there. Tint Wiz, Tint Wiz, Tint Wiz, Tint Wiz. All right, cold start, a little loud, gets quieter. Just gonna go around the perimeter on the windshield, make sure everything's laying down. They got a little areas popping up on the sides. HVAC on 70 degrees. That way it's not too cold where it's creating more condensation. Got a little bit of heat, so it's evaporating that water. I sat down, the car went ping, and it said passenger airbag activated. And I was like, what? But it just means someone's sitting here. I was like, there's no way. Scared the shit out of me. Would have been a good video. Hey guys, how you total with Porsche? The only time you want to heat the inside of any install is really the top and the bottom. If there's a finger coming out of the side, you want to heat it from the outside, push that out. If you heat it from the inside, you're just going to crease the film. Just like you can't shrink film sideways. A little bit of heat gun in my life. Let it cook. Let them cook. Nice and flat. Let's go over all these windows. So that carpet holds a little bit of moisture, so we got the heat running, it's making condensation, and then we're going to evaporate the condensation out of the car with the doors open. We don't want the customer to leave and then park their car, and then all of a sudden it's full of condensation on all the windows. Especially with this really thick carpet, it's going to hold a little bit of agua. When we pull it outside, we'll blast the heat for like 10 minutes on the highest heat setting. Other than that, it looks beautiful. Beautiful. Almost as beautiful as Tint Wiz. Yesterday, I snuck into the Plaza Hotel. You got to stay there to be able to get into the guest area, like the champagne bar. I just walked in. I was like, what's going on? The security guy, he's like,
welcome back, sir.
Megan and Caitlin were walking behind me, and they stopped, and he was like,
room keys.
And they were like,
we're with him.
And he's like,
oh, go ahead.
They made it so obvious that we weren't supposed to be there, though. Act like you belong. Yeah, that's what I said. Act like you run the f***ing place. All right, guys, and that is how you install Dragon's Ember on a Porsche 911. Make sure you check out windowtintsupplies.com. Get yourself a roll of this stuff. Sell it to your customers. Install it on your own car. And make sure you check out Tint Wiz. Schedule a free consultation in the description down below. And make sure you book yourself a hands-on training session with Window Tint Warrior and Ernesto Sosa himself.
Job complete. The Porsche 911 now gleams with the fiery charm of Dragon's Ember. Part tint, part sorcery. Sean, satisfied with his handiwork, vanishes into the wild once more. Where to? Possibly his couch, possibly into a black hole of Instagram reels and leftover pizza. Some say he never truly clocks out, but we leave you, as always, with the sacred words: spray, squeegee, spray.